watching GVTV News. Welcome.
Thanks, Sheriff Rowe, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's World News headlines, Obama outlines policy agenda in State of the Union address. And words, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender appear in the State of the Union for the first time. And in Yemen, Houthi rebels take palace, stand guard outside president's home, and in the Congo, at least 15 killed in crackdown on protest. And in Cuba, U.S. diplomats meet for historic talks. And tests fail to identify charred remains in search for Mexican students. And out of Bahrain, human rights activist Nabil Rajab sentenced to 6 months. And in Montana, cancer-causing chemical found in water after oil spill. And Obama files to veto 20-week abortion ban. And a report says police in U.S. using radars that can see through walls, and France unveils sweeping new counterterrorism plan. And French comedian faces up to 7 years in prison for Facebook post. And Mayor of Paris suburb backs down on bid to ban Oscar-nominated film Timbuktu over terrorism fears. GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, division of Royal County's television network, whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us. GVTV News. In today's first World News story, President Obama has delivered his 6th State of the Union address, outlining his domestic and foreign policy agenda for his final 2 years in office. On the foreign policy front, Obama defended his decision to begin normalizing relations with Cuba, calling for Congress to pass a new authorization of military force against the Islamic State, and vowed again to close Gitmo. He also urged Congress to give him trade promotion authority, power to negotiate free trade deals like Trans-Pacific Partnership, but much of his speech focused on the U.S. economy and efforts to bolster the middle class with a push of education, child care, and tax breaks. And he said, it's up to us to choose who we want to be over the next 15 years and for decades to come. We will accept an economy where only a few of us do spectacularly well, or we'll commit ourselves to economy that generates rising incomes and chances for everyone who makes the effort. For the first time since 2001, State of the Union address included no mention of the word Al-Qaeda, but Obama did say 3 words that made history: lesbian, bisexual, and transgender, marking the first time those words appeared in the State of the Union address. Of course, no words like Muslim, Islamic, terrorist was mentioned. And President Obama said that's why we defend free speech and advocate political prisoners and condemn the persecution of women and religious minorities or people are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. We do these things not only because they are right things to do, but because ultimately they will make us safer. In Yemen, Shiite Houthi rebels have overtaken the presidential palace and are standing guard outside the residence of President Abd Rabbu Mansur Hadi. In the top of Yemeni officials are calling a coup, asking for Hadi's resignation. We'll see what happens there. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, at least 15 people have been killed as police crack down on protesters demanding President Joseph Kabila to step down next year. Protests are continuing for a 3rd day over the government's plan to hold a census which could delay elections and keep Kabila in power for years. United States and Cuba began historic talks aimed at restoring full diplomatic ties. For the first time in more than half a century, the head of the U.S. delegation, Assistant Secretary of State Roberto Jacobson, will be the highest-ranking U.S. diplomat to enter Cuba in 35 years. Mexican authorities say an Austrian forensic team has been unable to recover enough DNA to determine whether the charred human remains found at the state of Guerrero belonged to the students missing since September. Federal authorities have claimed local police turned the 43 students over to members of a drug gang who killed them and burned their bodies, and so far only one student's remains have been identified. Responding to the latest news, Emanuelino Navarrete, father of one of the missing students, said that still doubts the government's account and said, "Since the beginning, I have not believed what the government has put forward. I think the kids are still alive, and if this is so, if those remains found in a dump belong to some of the youngsters, there is someone who wanted to get rid of them. Someone got in their way." In Bahrain, human rights activist Nabil Rajab has been sentenced to 6 months in prison for insulting the government on Twitter. Rajab remains free on bail as he appeals. Last May, Rajab was released from prison after 2 years for charges including taking part in illegal protests. And in the United States, residents of Glenville, Montana and surrounding areas are being told not to drink their tap water after cancer-causing chemical benzene was detected following an oil spill. Warning comes days after 50,000 gallons of water spilled into the Yellowstone River and follows earlier assurances by state officials the spill posed no public safety threat. Glenville sits on the edge of the Bakken Shale, a top oil production site near the route of the proposed Keystone XL pipeline. President Obama has vowed to veto a Republican-backed measure to ban abortion after 20 weeks of pregnancy, calling it a direct challenge to rulings of the U.S. Supreme Court. House plans to vote on the ban Thursday, on the 42nd anniversary of Roe v. Wade. Supreme Court division established an illegal right to abortion. Of course, I don't know why they don't do late-term abortions like that. It's ridiculous that he's always against that. He voted against it before. A new report finds at least 50 U.S. law enforcement agencies have quietly obtained radar devices which effectively allow them to see inside homes. According to USA Today, the radar can detect human breathing at a distance of more than 50 feet, penetrate walls to locate someone inside a home, and determine if they are moving. Dozens of agencies, including the FBI and U.S. Marshals, have been deploying the radar with little scrutiny by courts or the public. And France has announced a wave of exceptional measures to combat terrorism in the wake of the attacks early in the month in Charlie Hebdo's magazine and kosher supermarket. Prime Minister Manuel Valls said the government will spend equivalent of $490 million over the next 3 years and hire more than 2,600 new staff. Plan includes a major increase of surveillance, including measures easing the use of phone taps. The news comes as France has detained 4 people charged with aiding supermarket shooter Amédée Coulibaly. A French comedian is facing up to 7 years in prison for a Facebook post in the wake of an attack. Comedian Dieudonné Mabala was arrested and charged with inciting terrorism after posting what he felt like Charlie Coulibaly, a term which combined the name of the targeted magazine Charlie Hebdo and the name of the kosher supermarket shooter Amédée Coulibaly. Or cop, whatever his name is. Yeah, he's just a terrorist. I don't know why they even use his name. The mayor of the Paris suburb appears to have backed down in his bid to ban screenings of an Oscar-nominated film over the concerns of terrorism. The film Timbuktu, just nominated for Best Foreign Language Film, is viewed as an unequivocally anti-jihadist film, which depicts the horrors of the jihadist occupation of Mali. Anyway, following a wave of criticism, the mayor vowed to reschedule the film and host a debate with religious leaders. And that's it for the world news today. Now, another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports our only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. That's right, it's time for the police blotter. Pictures in the blotter are not from these actual events, but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained from daily logs issued from Nevada County law enforcement. Grass Valley Police Department on Monday, 10 a.m., a caller from a business on the 1200 block of East Main Street reported an employee theft. 10:06 a.m., caller from 100 block of Neal Street reported fraud involving a debit card, with information possibly having been captured at a downtown grocery store. At 1:24 p.m., a caller from 800 block of Old Tunnel Road reported a man screaming and hollering and playing a piano, refusing to leave. He could not be located. 1:48 p.m., caller from Sutton Way and Dorsey Drive reported a man sitting in a high-centered truck, possibly drunk. He was arrested on suspicion of possessing a controlled substance and drug paraphernalia, altering a device to look like a firearm, and violating parole. 2:59 p.m., a caller from 100 block of Olympia Park Road reported a stolen credit card. 4:25 p.m., a caller from 100 block of Upper Slate Creek Road reported a person shot a gun in the air. It was a vehicle backfiring. 4:43 p.m., a caller from 800 block of East Main Street reported a man won't wake up. At 5:16 p.m., a caller from 200 block of South Church Street reported an argument with juveniles who damaged a sign. At 5:40 p.m., a caller from 200 block of Manor Drive reported multiple transients and trash. At 6:48 p.m., a caller reported transients setting up camp again. At 7:07 p.m., a caller from Sutton Way and Brunswick Road reported campers who were moving on. At 7:58 p.m., a caller from 100 block of Glasson Way reported a person getting violent at the ER. 10:13 p.m., a caller from 100 block of West Empire Street reported a drum practice. And on Tuesday, 12:21 a.m., a caller from 700 block of Old Tunnel Road reported a woman screaming. Nevada County Sheriff's Office on Monday, 8:11 a.m., a caller from Highway 20 and Scotts Flat Road reported copper wire theft from AT&T. Bolt cutter and ladder was left behind. 9:08 a.m., a caller from Mooney Flat Road and Englebright Dam reported a cow that won't cooperate. 9:11 a.m., a caller from 15,000 block of Little Valley Road reported a possible phone scam. At 10:17 a.m., a caller from 17,000 block of Brewer Road reported a constantly barking dog. At 12:10 p.m., a caller from 11,000 block of Squirrel Creek Road reported the theft of bird feeders. At 12:14 p.m., a caller from 23,000 block of Spyglass Court reported a mountain lion approaching a toddler that was on a front porch. At 12:29 p.m., a caller from Bald Eagle Loop reported a boy punching holes in walls. At 1:06 p.m., a caller from 18,000 block of Billadu Lane reported trespassing. And 1:12 p.m., a caller from Highway 49 and Alta Sierra Drive reported a man charging a woman, then throwing a bunch of trash at her. A person was cited on unknown charges. At 2:03 p.m., a caller from 12,000 block of Highway 174 reported someone trying to get in the back gate of a post office. No one was located. And at 2:04 p.m., a caller from Highway 49 reported a woman hit her son. It was mutual combat. At 3:37 p.m., a caller from Highway 49 and High Street reported yelling and a lot of profanity. A woman was arrested on suspicion of violating probation. At 4:07 p.m., a man from 14,000 block of Sky Pines Road reported his dogs had been attacked 3 times in the last month. 4:33 p.m., a caller from 10,000 block of Brunswick Road reported people screaming and yelling, possibly setting up a camp. No one was located. And 6:04 p.m., a caller from Long Valley Road in Cattle Drive reported hearing 4 gunshots and heard 5 last night. At 6:28 p.m., a woman from Lake of the Pines was requesting surveillance tapes because there is a drug cartel after her. A terrorist group is involved and carbon monoxide is being pumped into her residence. At 7:07 p.m., a caller from Highway 49 in Alta Sierra Drive reported a man lying in the roadway. And 7:37 p.m., a caller from Crow's Nest Lane reported juveniles running amok. 7:50 p.m., a caller from 17,000 block of Clover Road reported several gunshots. It was quiet when deputies arrived. At 9:43 p.m., a caller from 13,000 block of U-Bat Road reported a woman who appeared injured screaming for help who could not be located. And Tuesday, 2:12 a.m., a caller from 18,000 block of Lazy Dog Road reported a possible extortion attempt. In Nevada City Police Department on Monday, 9:40 a.m., a caller from 100 block of Boulder Street reported vandalism to a vehicle. At 12:52 p.m., a caller from 100 block of Argyle Way reported a man in a Nevada County Sheriff's shirt and body armor, as well as camo pants and military boots, yelling and causing an issue. He could not be located. At 12:54 p.m., a caller from Pioneer Park reported 2 women in skinny jeans playing loud, vulgar music and yelling profanities. They could not be located. At 1:23 p.m., a caller from 400 block of Providence Mine Road reported a man fell off a bicycle. He was life-flighted. At 1:50 p.m., a caller from Broad and Union Street reported a man sitting in a teepee yelling vulgar statements. And Tuesday, 1:08 a.m., a caller from Coyote and Washington Streets reported a prowler. And that's it for the Blotter today. Now thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's local news headlines, missing man sought in Truckee. An Amgen tour of California route to Traverse, Nevada City. In our first local story, the Nevada County Sheriff's Office is seeking assistance in locating a man missing in Truckee since January 1st. Approximately 12:30 p.m. on January 13th, Sheriff's Office received a report of a missing person in Hurstdale area of Truckee. Christopher Blaisdell, 47, was last seen on or about January 1st walking away from his residence in Florestan Avenue towards Iceland Road. He's not been seen or heard from since. A ground search was conducted around the area. He was last seen with negative results. Blaisdell is described as being 6 foot tall, 220 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Anyone with information can contact the Nevada County Sheriff's Office at 530-265-1471. That's 530-265-1471. One of the longest stages of the upcoming Amgen tour of the California bicycle race will get started on the street very familiar to the sport of cycling, Broad Street in Nevada City. The Amgen Tour of California is returning to the Sierra Nevada foothills May 11th, kicking off its second stage of the same surface in Nevada City Classic, which is the oldest criterium bike race on the West Coast. The Tour of California course will take riders on a 123-mile course through Nevada City, Grass Valley, Auburn, Cool, El Dorado Hills, eventually ending up in Lodi, said Nevada City Councilman Dwayne Strasser, who also owns Tour de Nevada City Bike Shop and is organizer of the Nevada City Classic. It's as fast, fun, and curvy as anything in the world, Strasser said. I would say the Amgen Tour like us and the riders like us because it's a roller coaster all the way to Auburn, but it's also a challenge. Riders will start by heading up Broad Street before taking a right on Cottage Street, then right on North Pine Street, which will take them to York Street. Riders will then take left on Commercial Street, travel down the Commercial Union intersection before getting back on Broad. There will be a parade lap. From there, riders will go left on South Pine Street, eventually take a right on Sacramento Street before making a left on Zion Street. From there, the race will take a right at Ridge Road and go past Nevada Union High School, eventually hanging a left on Alta Street in Grass Valley. Riders will then take off on West Main Street before taking a right on Mill Street and then a left on Neal Street. Riders will then follow the route, Highway 174, before taking a right on Rattlesnake Road, which will end on Dog Bar Road, where the riders will take a left. Riders will traverse Dog Bar all the way till it dead ends at Placer Hills Road. From there, riders will continue the trek through Forest Hill, Cool, El Dorado Hills, and finish in Lodi. There will be one of the longest stages they will have in the history of 10 years, Strasser said. The route is devised by Medalist Sports with a suggestion from Strasser. Medalist Sports is a sports management company that has also done work for the Goodwill Games, Tour of China, USA Cycling Professional Championships, and others according to its website. There'll be a third time in the last 5 years Amgen Tour of California has come through Nevada County, which is something Strasser takes pride in. It's our history with the Nevada City Classic, and they trust myself, my staff, and my volunteers. They know we know what we are doing. Strasser also said Nevada City's geographical location fits the tour's needs perfectly. We're conveniently located below Tahoe, so the snow is not a threat. We're just high enough to get a scenic Sierra foothills and up and down terrain the valley doesn't offer, he said. We're kind of a win-win. Strasser said there's still a lot of work to be done before the race on May 11th, including street repairs in certain spots along the route. There have been some big crashes in the past, but never on our turf, and we don't want that ever to happen. We are known as a bicycle community, and we want to keep it that way. As far as the course difficulties, Strasser in Nevada County offers something no other place can compare with. And the biggest thing we have is that highest speed, fastest, curviest roads in Sierra foothills, which is what makes us such an attraction. Specifically citing Rattlesnake Road and Dog Bar roads. It's world class when it comes to descent and curves. In all, the Amgen Tour of California covers 700 miles in Golden State in 8 days, traversing several different landscapes from Sacramento, where the race begins, to Pasadena, where the race concludes. Other host cities on the way are San Jose, Pismo Beach, Avila Beach, Santa Barbara, Santa Clarita, Big Bear Lake, Ontario, Mount Baldy, and Los Angeles.
Crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon, I could go to space. With the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm clap along if you feel.
Grass Valley Television brings you local and world news, and we broadcast our 30-minute show 6 times a day on NCTV, Public Access, Comcast Cable, Channel 11 and 18. Also, we're on Sudden Link, Channel 16 and 18. We have 3 amazing series: Music, a 30-minute weekly show that airs 4 times a week, and Pride, Integrity, Guts, and Service, hosted by Sheriff Keith Royal and me on a bi-monthly series, plays 4 times a week. We're your community media, and if you have a business and would like to underwrite our shows, we offer almost 200 30-second spots a month on Comcast and Suddenlink. We also stream live on NevadaCountyTV.org and video on demand there, and our own websites, GVTV.org and GrassValleyTelevision.com. We also post to several Facebook pages and YouTube, Vimeo, Blip.tv, and many other sites on the web where we mirror our shows. We provide 30-second spots and a 60-second spot for you to embed on your webpage or whatever you want to do with it. For more information, you can call us at 362-8889 or email grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com. We will be happy to explain how your support of us will help us support you. Grass Valley Television also does special programs in the community, and we also mention our underwriters and make sure your customers will see what you do when you're open and where you are. And we thank the many businesses that already have supported us: Christopher's Deli and Catering, Station House, D. Martini's Spring Hill Pharmacy, Grass Valley Eye Care, Serendipity, B&C Hardware, Booktown, Ron's Real Records, S&K Auto Repair, Centerville Auto, and many more. We have a Happy New Year's special right now that will give you 2 free weeks of free exposure. Don't miss out. Find out how affordable and rewarding your support can be. You can also get our broadcast on smartphones and tablets and laptops. We reach about 80% of Nevada County. Give us a try.